Bob Weiner's his and her foreboding? Is that Bob Weiner or Bob Wiener? It looks like it's spelled Wiener. Dr. Leskinen slumped his shoulders in the unique way that Caucasians always overreacted. Wait, what?
She said she was the person you loved.
Oh, no! No, that's so sad! Oh. How's it going, everybody? HoodlaMutt here, back with some more Steins Gate Zero. And last time, we had to leave Kuditz, who we had visited in the Alpha World line when we had kind of vamped there because of Amadeus Kuditz having an issue that caused the world line to change for some reason. And we had to leave her so we could go to the world line where Mayuri was again. And once we got there, things were not the same as when we left back on the Beta world line. Kagari knew that she was Mayuri's daughter, and there were a few different things that were different, but the one that really stood out the most was the fact that Kagari apparently remembers things that were Kuditz's memories. So that's interesting. And we have no clue why that's the case. And that's basically where we're at. So let's just get into it, I guess.
Kagari has Kuditz Makase's memories?
Suzuha didn't seem as surprised as I had expected. Maho and I asked her some more questions after that. About Victor Condria. About her research. Her answers were all over the place. Some things she knew, and some things she didn't. But some of the things she knew were things that only Maho and Kuditz would have known. In the end, instead of being overturned, my hypothesis came out even stronger. All the questions seemed to tire Kagari out, and with Tanoji's permission, Lukaku took her home. Maho completely refused to accept what I was saying, but did say before she left that she'd look into whether it was possible to transfer Amadeus's memory data into a human brain. And that night, I explained the situation to Suzuha.
So you mean Kagari has two personalities?
No, that's not it. The proper word for multiple personalities is dissociative identity disorder. That's when additional personalities are created within the person themselves. It's like you're upset or uneasy about who you are, so you make another personality within yourself. Once in a while, there would be a case where someone would take the personality of a man or a woman they admired, but usually it was a completely original one. But that's not what's going on in Kagari's case. She doesn't have her personality. What she's got is, quite literally, only Kuditz's memories. It's possible that Kuditz's memories are mixed in with her own. Kagari's memories weren't overwritten. She still had them. So they had mixed together.
I see. With 2036's technology, that's certainly possible.
Then, since Kagari's a time traveler from that year, it's a possibility? But she has her memories from when she was 10, right? If they put someone else's memories into her head, she should remember that, right?
I think I remember her saying once in a while back then that she heard the voice of God.
Yeah, that's right, she did say that. So was she hearing Kuditz's memories back then? But why would Kuditz have told her to stop trying to change time to the point that Kagari nearly shot Suzuha, you know? Like, what? That doesn't make sense. A hallucination? It's possible that's a product of Kuritz's memories leaking out.
Yeah. But the future wasn't as peaceful as this era. There weren't enough people, and there weren't enough supplies. Even if they did have memory transfer technology, it would have been a military secret. I can't imagine them using it on a civilian, especially a kid.
I could. Kagari was a war orphan. There's no chance it was used to cure her PTSD?
That wouldn't explain why they'd want to transfer someone else's memories into her.
That's right. Which means it's more likely that it was done during the time when she had no memories, between 1998 and now. Even if it's possible in 2036, is it possible right now? Kuritz could do it. She'd done it all by herself to make the time leap machine after all.
So, Kuritz's Makase transferred her own memories to Kagari?
See, that's what I was thinking! But, well, I said Maho, I think, initially, but I also wondered, like, what if Kuritz, like, tried to put her memories into someone else so that she could be with Okabe or something still? You know? But, like, how would that transfer to another world line? Unless, like, I don't know how that would, I don't think that would work because she doesn't have reading Steiner. So I don't know. Because, yeah, I think initially I said that it wouldn't work because as soon as she went to go and try and do that, she would have had to have done it, or at least tried to have done it, before she sent Okabe back, because once she does that, the world line changes, and then she wouldn't have had time to put her memories in someone else. So, I don't know.
Why would she do that? It's like something a mad scientist would do.
There was no way. It was impossible. It had to be. And there weren't many people as smart as Kuritz's Makase. If she didn't do it, I couldn't imagine anyone else would. That's right. I'm getting ahead of myself. I agree. I might have been getting too attached to my own idea. But there's no doubt that Kagari knows things only Kuritz could know. Maybe, like, Makase-shi's soul became a ghost and possessed her? Don't even think of saying that around Hyajo. She'll laugh in your face. You've got that right. In the end, I realized there was nothing I could do for Kagari but watch for a while to see how things went. We were just students, without any kind of specialized knowledge. No matter how much we debated, or what ideas we came up with, we wouldn't be able to find the answer easily. Come to think of it, Daru, what's Yuki up to? Exactly, yeah, because we thought in the last ending that Yuki might have been the girl in the motorcycle suit, at least in that route. So who's the motorcycle girl now? Yeah. Not that that's what he's asking, that's what I'm asking, though. Amaneshi's busy with work every day, it looks like. What does she do again?
Works at a cake bakery, I heard. She said it's really good, and we should go check it out.
That's right. But it's a little far away, isn't it?
That's why she'd be happy if you went, right? Get a grip, Dad.
Oh, right. My bad. Wait, Okarin. Why are you asking anyway? Oh, no reason. I was just curious. That girl in the motorcycle suit. Oh, he is asking for that reason. Okay, I forgot. So, I thought that was in the last route, but it might have been this one. That he also is still thinking that she might be the motorcycle suit girl. Yeah. Because I think that's still, I think where this new ending like starts picking up is after that information has already been put in place. So I just forgot that apparently. Could that have been Yuki Amane? I still hadn't convinced myself it wasn't her. If it was, she may be involved in some way with what was happening to Kagari. But that attack only took place in the other world line. That's right, okay, yup. Well, so other world line as in the other beta world line, because we're in this weird one now. It hadn't happened in this one, so I had no way to tell. If there was something she... Huh?
Is there something going on with Mom?
No, it's nothing. I still didn't have any proof. I'd have to just keep an eye on her. My priority right now was Kagari. What had happened during the time when she lost her memories. If I could find that out, I might be able to understand what was about to happen to us. Huh.
Okay, I'm going to get started. Ready? Yeah.
Maho came to the lab again the next day. She was there to look at Kagari's memories. Kagari had volunteered to work with her. As of yesterday, my hypothesis was just a hypothesis. And anytime she saw a hypothesis, she wanted to test it. Maybe that's just how scientists were.
First, can you look at this?
Maho held up a cell phone. There was a picture displayed on its screen. It was a corridor with white walls and clean white floors, and two people wearing white lab coats were walking down it.
Do you know where this is? A school? Which school? Victor Condria University. Do you know who this is in front? Tony Brown. His nickname is JB because he does this weird little dance when he gets excited. Then who's the girl? I don't know.
Well?
She's pretty famous among us scientists. Cadets would definitely know her.
It looks like even if Kagari does have Kudetsu's memories, she can't recall them all perfectly. That's how it had seemed yesterday, too. Maybe there's some things she can remember and other things she can't?
That doesn't mean that we can say for sure that these are Kudetsu's memories yet. Anyone could find out about these two with a little research. Kagari, can I ask you some more questions? Okay. Last winter, Kudetsu and I went to see a movie.
You and Kudetsu did?
Is that surprising? Even we need a break sometimes. Normally, all we do is work.
It was surprising, actually. I hadn't thought they'd interacted outside of work.
I was hitting a little wall in my research, so she took me out. She said she just happened to have 2 tickets.
That's just like how a man asks a girl on a date. She never was any good with that stuff.
Do you know what the title of the movie was? Bob Weiner's His and Her Foreboding?
Is that Bob Weiner or Bob Wiener? It looks like it's spelled Wiener. What the heck? Maho gulped. That must have been the right answer. Is that a new movie? I've never heard of it.
It's 20 years old. This was a revival showing.
And Kagari had guessed it. She'd known the title of a movie that Credits and Maho had gone to see together, in private. And since it wasn't a major worldwide release, it wasn't something you could get with a lucky guess.
But somebody could have witnessed it.
Sure, but how would they know you were going to ask that question? Are you saying she memorized every tiny bit of information you could possibly ask about? It would be impossible, and she didn't have a reason to bother anyway.
It's not like I don't know that.
I could tell from the pained expression on her face that Maho was struggling with something. And I was starting to realize what it was. She didn't want to admit it. She didn't want to admit it was possible. It was winter, but Kagari's forehead was dripping with sweat again. Going through her confused memories may have been putting a lot of stress on her. That's enough. This looks like it's hard on Kagari.
Wait! Just let me ask one more question. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Kagari nodded and motioned for her to go ahead.
What was your greatest treasure when you were a kid? When I was a kid? Even after you moved to America, you always kept it in your room. A stuffed dolphin. Dad bought it for me when we went to the aquarium.
Maho sighed and sunk onto the sofa. Is she right?
Yup. Kuritz's mom told me about it on the phone last night. The only people who knew about that were Kuritz and her parents.
Then...
I hate to admit it, but this hypothesis of yours, I can't rule it out.
I see.
What's going to happen to me?
I didn't have an answer. I didn't even know how this had happened in the first place. The only possibility I could think of was...
Kagari, sorry to make you go through all this. Get some rest.
Maho stood up with a serious expression on her face. You're leaving?
Yeah. There's still some things I can check on my own. Okay, see you later.
Maho got up and went for the door, without bothering to look back. She seemed to be silently shutting out the entire world. All we could do was watch her go. Alright, now we're following Maho. Maho Hiajo stared at her computer monitor in a daze. The rest of the world was still feeling the afterglow of New Year's excitement. The last time she'd come to Japan, it was still in the heat of summer. She'd used her vacation days to come then. Her coworker, Kuritz Makase, had suddenly died, and she wanted to see the place where she was murdered herself. Maho's feelings for Kuritz Makase were complicated. Until Kuritz had come to her lab, Maho had thought herself a genius. She'd graduated high school after skipping grades, and joined a university lab while still in her teens. It was understandable that she'd feel that way. Everyone else said she was a genius too. But her pride was shattered into tiny little pieces by the arrival of Kuritz Makase. Kuritz Makase was the real thing. Maho didn't even come close to her. She had realized that she could never be as smart as Kudets. And she realized that she didn't want to be beaten by her anyway. It would have been so much easier if she could have hated her. It would have been so much easier to hate Kudets. But Kudets Makase wouldn't even allow her that much. She was a dedicated scientist, and that dedication carried over to her treatment of Maho too.
Maho, I think your research has the potential to change the world. If there's anything I can do to help, I will. Just say the word.
Someday, she swore she'd surpass her. Someday, she swore she'd make Kudets say that she was the smarter one. But now that would never happen. Kudets Makase went away on a trip and never came back. Maho had been told that she'd been attacked by a robber and killed. But it didn't seem real. It felt like she'd come back to the lab any day now, and start arguing with the professors with that same self-satisfied smirk on her face. Until then, Maho would work on the Amadeus project, so that when Kudets came back, she would be amazed. Amadeus. An artificial intelligence that could be loaded with an individual's memories. It was possible to digitize memories by analyzing the nerve signals relating to the memories stored in the temporal lobe. It had been Kudets, of course, who'd proved it. And then Maho and her team had turned that proof into usable technology. By the time Kudets got back, she would have it all ready for the next level. She'd show it to Kudets and astonish her. But even that hope didn't last long. She was suddenly told that the project was canceled. Of course, she couldn't accept it. But no matter what she said, no matter how many times she argued with the professor, she couldn't get the cancellation overturned. Amadeus went to sleep at the bottom of the lab's server, along with Kudets Makase's digitized memories. Kudets Makase's memories. Now they were in the head of another girl. How had that happened? There was only one possibility, if it was possible at all. Just like Rintaro Okabe had said. Oh? She opened the door, and a large man she knew very well came inside. So again, we don't know if he's evil again or not. But last time he wasn't. Last time he seemed to be a good guy. And it was Reyes that was evil. So but I don't know what to trust anymore. Will they have some of the other endings be with a bad Leskinen again? Or was that his one bad ending? And then it's going to be someone else that we didn't expect or something. That's what I want to know. Maho, what's wrong? I thought you were still on your New Year's holiday.
What about you, Professor? What are you doing here on your day off?
Maho's mentor, Dr. Leskinen, was here in Japan for a month-long conference on artificial intelligence. Maho had come with him as his assistant. The heck was that? But the conference didn't take place every day, so they spent the time between sessions at the Japanese office, making presentation materials and exchanging emails. In my case, I don't have much to do on my days off. It's no fun sitting in the hotel, so I may as well come here and work.
Then I guess I'm the same.
For a researcher, doing research was a hobby. If nothing else, all the scientists Maho knew were like that. Of course, she'd come here today because she'd assumed Dr. Leskinen would feel that way. You have a lot of things to do, don't you? Dating, for instance.
Professor, if you keep that up, I'm going to sue you for sexual harassment.
Oh, anything but that. Dr. Leskinen slumped his shoulders in the unique way that Caucasians always overreacted. Wait, what? Are we known for overreacting? With slumping our shoulders and all that? Is that a thing? Is that a thing we do? Okay, sure. It's funny when I see stuff like that, when they say stuff about America, or they say something about, it's like, oh yeah, Caucasian people, that's what they do. It's like, that must be like what they see, but like, I don't notice those things, but maybe we do them, I don't know. It's funny. It's just funny hearing it from a different person's perspective on like, oh yeah, the thing that unique way that they always overreact. I don't know. It makes me laugh. Then it makes you self-conscious because you're like, do I do that? Do I just like in public? Am I just like, I don't know. It's just funny. He seemed intent on bringing Maho and Okabe together. She and Okabe were both friends of Kuritz's, and so they talked a lot. But there was nothing more to it than that. At least, that's what she thought. Probably.
All right. In lieu of an apology, can I ask you something?
Anything, if it will keep me out of court.
All right. What's going on with Amadeus right now?
You should know the answer to that. Right now, there's no plans to continue the project.
I know that. What I'm asking is, what happened to the Amadeus data?
It's saved on the lab server, right?
Nobody else accessed it or took it out?
Leskinen's eyes narrowed, and he slowly shook his head. Maho, I don't know where you got that idea, but Amadeus access is limited to only a few people, and as far as I know, no one else has touched it. If nothing else, I haven't received any reports about it.
Then the same goes for Mai and Kuritz's memory data?
Of course.
Then, is it possible there's some other AI project going on that I don't know about?
Of course not. You're the most important member of our research team. We've lost Kuritz. And it was a big loss. But I think you're the only one who can take her place. Aw. So there's no way I'd start a new project without you knowing. Right? Oh, that's sketch.
I see.
The compliment felt like a bit too much for her to take at face value. There were a lot of scientists who were always looking to get a leg up on the competition. If someone else got the glory first, everything you worked on until that point would be useless. Even in the same team, there were only a few people you could really trust. But to Maho, Dr. Leskinen was one of those people. Will that do for an answer?
Yes.
Then may I ask you something? Where did this come from, all of a sudden?
Well...
Are you worried that someone might have access to your secrets?
Yeah, something like that.
Amadeus was developed so as not to share any secrets the original wouldn't want shared. The same goes for the saved data. Even if someone did steal it, the parts the original person wants to keep secret the most are kept within a black box. They can't be accessed via Amadeus or from the memory data itself. If those secrets get out, it's because a living human wanted them to.
A living human?
That's right. The original person themselves, in other words. Well, feel better?
Yeah, I guess so.
It wasn't that she didn't trust Dr. Leskinen, I don't. But she couldn't relax until she'd seen for herself that no one had taken the data. Maho only thought it was possible to believe something after you'd seen it yourself. That's how she thought a scientist should be. But right now, she didn't have the access rights to do so. So in the end, she was stuck with her doubts. She knew this was going to happen, but she couldn't stop herself from asking anyway. Oh, you again.
Oh, I didn't expect to see you two here.
Dr. Reyes walked through the door just as she finished her conversation with the professor.
Jeez, don't you two know it's a holiday?
What about you, Dr. Reyes?
I've got nothing to do in my hotel.
Maho exchanged a glance with Dr. Leskinen, then shrugged. That's just how scientists were.
What? What? What's going on? It's nothing.
She and Dr. Leskinen laughed at Reyes' confusion, but the doubts in her mind lingered. Interesting. Okay. So, that was sketch. I still don't trust Leskinen. Not in this route again. What if it's both of them this time? Oh no. Well, it was both of them in the very first one though too. So that could be a consistent thing. I don't know. I don't know. I don't trust him. I really don't trust him. They wouldn't have had a whole conversation of him trying to say, nothing's wrong, everything's fine, what do you mean? You know, if it weren't, like, a lie. So, that's why I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Kuritz's memories were inside Kagari's head. Several days had passed since I'd begun to suspect my hypothesis was correct.
I'm sorry, Okarin. I've caused a lot of trouble for you.
No, it's nothing, really. And I think Lukaku and Mayuri are doing a lot more for you than me. In fact, Mayuri and Lukaku were doing a very good job of taking care of her. Mayuri may not have realized it, but Kagari looked up to her as a mother figure. And after living under the same roof for so long, Lukaku had come to care for her a lot.
That's not true. All I'm doing is giving her someone to talk to. Mayushi's sorry that she can't do more, you know? No, that's not true. Luca's being really nice, and just having Mommy around makes me happy.
Mayuri fidgeted in embarrassment when she heard the word mommy. I could understand why. It must feel strange to be called mommy at her age, especially by someone who was older than she was.
Hey, Mommy? What is it? Can I give you a hug? A hug? Can I give you a hug like you always used to do for me when I was little? What? What? I'm blushing. I can't? No. Go ahead.
Wholesome! That's so cute. Mayuri smiled and nodded, and Kagari gave her a big hug with a huge grin on her face.
Kagari, you're such a good girl.
Mayuri never asked for details, but she seemed to sense what was happening to Kagari. She probably understood that this was the best thing she could do right now.
Mommy.
It was strange. Kagari was a lot older, but when they were like this, they really did look like mother and child.
Thank you, Mommy.
Kagari slowly moved away from Mayuri. She looked a lot calmer than she had a moment ago. Yeah, she's still like 10, right? Basically, in her mind. So, dang. It was probably okay to talk to her now. So, Kagari, how are you doing?
How am I doing? I guess I don't know.
You don't know?
Sometimes I find myself remembering things, but I don't know if they're Kuritz's memories or my own. Complicated formulas, experiments. It's like I don't understand them, but I know them.
Kagari's only memories were of her time as a child, and the time since Lukako's father's friend had found her. Kuritz's memories would appear sometimes and fill the gap in between. I couldn't even imagine how that must have felt. I wonder if that's the reason she can handle it. Like, imagine if you had all your memories, but then someone else's memories, like all of their memories, just got transferred into your brain all of a sudden. It's like there wouldn't be any room, right? But because she has amnesia, it's like all that space was able to be filled up without, like, completely screwing her up because it filled in those blanks where she has amnesia, right? So she's remembering somebody else's memories every now and then. But had she had all her memories, I wonder if it would have made her insane or something. Just a hypothesis, but I just thought about that.
Just a while ago, I remembered Daddy. It was when Daddy told me I did good when I was little. I remembered that, and it made me really happy. But my parents died when I was a baby, and then Mommy Mayuri raised me. I don't know who my dad is. Aw. But even though it wasn't my own experience, I really felt happy when he praised me.
Wait, that wasn't her own experience? Wait, did I read that wrong? Oh, she said, okay, that it was, that her family died when she was a baby. She's remembering Kuritz's dad. Okay, sorry, just threw me off for a second.
And that just made my head feel all funny.
Kagari grimaced and held her head in her hands. The first time I'd met her, I'd been surprised by how much she looked like Kuritz. But talking to her like this, I realized how different she was. Well, she's like 10, so... The way her expression was constantly changing, and the way she always slightly overreacted, was actually more like Mayuri. Was that because they were mother and child? So, do Kuritz's memories come out often?
Yeah, a lot more than they used to, maybe.
I see.
Hey, Karin, what's going to happen to Kagari?
Normally, the best thing we could do is get her looked at by a team of specialists. But given her position, it wasn't that easy.
I don't really want an exam. That was all I did when I was little.
Yeah?
Yup. They said it was to treat my PTSD.
So she didn't seem eager to be looked at either, huh? Interesting. If more of Kuritz's memories woke up, what would happen to her? Would she be Kagari Shina, with the memories of Kuritz Makase? Or would she become Kuritz Makase? A person's personality was more than just the sum of their memories. But memories were an important part of it. Once she had Kuritz's memories, what would happen to her? At this point, no one knew. It was quite possible that, up until now, no one had ever shared a person's memories before.
Oh, Mayuri, it's time. You're right. Hey, Okarin, can you take care of Kagari? We've got a meeting at school about our post-graduation plans, and we have to go. Sorry.
Don't apologize. And don't worry. I'll take her home.
Thank you. Okay, Kagari. See you tomorrow. Bye, Mommy. See you tomorrow.
Once Mayuri and Lukako were gone, it was just me and Kagari in the room. After the problems with Kagari's memory started coming up, I'd been having her hold off on her job at the Braun Tube workshop. What if all of a sudden Kudits just comes out? They're alone now, and it's just like when we were in the Alpha World line. What if? Oh no, I'm scared. But I was still having her come here as much as possible during the day, in case something happened. Suzuha and Tennoji were downstairs. That alone made me feel better. I suddenly felt Kagari looking at me. What's wrong?
I just realized how strange it is to be talking with you like this, Okarin.
Strange? Why?
Because to me, you were always just this person I heard stories about.
Stories?
Yup. Uncle Daru and Mommy would tell me about you.
That's right. According to Suzuha, I was going to die in 2025, which meant that in Kagari's time, I was no longer alive.
Mommy talked about you all the time. Okarin saved your mommy. Okarin is Mommy's Hikoboshi.
The heck is Hikoboshi? She still talks like that in the future? Now it was my turn to be embarrassed.
So I always wondered who this Okarin person was that my mom cared about so much. Who was this Dintaro Okabe that everyone talked about? Maybe I always admired you a little.
Stop teasing me.
You're blushing, Okarin.
Oh no, oh no. Kagari clearly had the upper hand here.
Oh, but that's probably true of Kudits Makase too.
Kudits?
Yeah. Mommy and Uncle Daru used to talk about Kudits Makase all the time. She died so long ago. I wondered what kind of person could have that much influence on things.
What did Mayuri say about her?
She said she was the person you loved.
Oh no! No, that's so sad! Oh, 'cause Mayuri likes him. Oh, that's gotta hurt so much, dude. That's so sad. The person I loved. For me, that was an undeniable truth. But that wasn't true for the rest of the lab. In this world line, Mayuri had never met Kudits, and I'd tried as much as possible to avoid bringing her up. But thanks to me, even in the future, she'd still feel that way. Oh, I know. I'm going shopping. Want to come with me?
Shopping?
Yeah. You still don't know this area well, do you?
Can I?
Of course. With people looking for her? I don't think so. Or wait, no, because he still doesn't... That's right, because that was in a different world line, so he's probably like, nothing's gonna happen now, right? That's kind of what he always does that. Every time he's just like, it'll never happen, even though he knows the law of causality is still there, It's like, I don't know. It's just, he doesn't always think sometimes. I don't know. I wouldn't be putting her out in the public view, but that's just me. After what happened in the last world line, it was probably a good idea to keep her from going outside too much. But she probably needed a change of pace. See, he acknowledges it, but then he doesn't do it. He's just like, pressing this red button is probably a bad idea because it says detonate right below it. But I'm gonna press it anyway because, hijinks, it's like it just doesn't make sense to me. It was still afternoon. As long as we stuck to busy streets, we'd probably be fine. Oh, that's so short-sighted.
Yay! There's actually a lot of things I've been wanting.
Things?
Just some basic necessities.
Isn't Lukaku getting you those things?
Yeah, but he's a boy, right? So I didn't want to ask him for too much.
True. Even if he was beautiful, Lukaku was a guy. There were some things he just wouldn't understand. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Alright, who's gonna kidnap her? It's coming. Let's see it happen.
Wow, this really is amazing.
Kagari's eyes were shining as she looked up and down the street.
There are so many people, and so many stores. It's hard to believe it's the same Akihabara.
What's Akihabara like in the future?
The best way to describe it is... a pile of rubble. Well, that goes for more than just Akihabara, though.
Suzuha had said that the Third World War would start soon, which meant that a young Kagari would have only known the world after that horrible war. Of course, that was all my fault. Probably. If I did what Suzuha wanted and went back to July 28th, would the world line change so that the Third World War never happened? Impossible. The world lines were going to converge no matter what I did.
Oh, Okarin, are you telling yourself that it's not your fault?
What? I gasped. She'd read my mind.
I guess so. But you can't think that. Nope. As far as I know, nobody, not Mommy or Uncle Daru, blamed you. Because they all believed that you'd do it someday. What was it? Steins Gate? They believed you'd lead us there.
I knew Kagari was trying to make me feel better, and that Mayuri and Daru would probably never blame me. But those words just made it worse, because I'd given up on everything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Huh?
I didn't mean to make you feel bad.
I must have had a pretty dark look on my face. No. I'm the one who should apologize. But I'm not.
Stop! We're not here to talk about that today. I don't get a chance to go outside often, so let's talk about something more fun, okay?
Yeah. Kagari's mind was probably filled with memories of a painful war. If nothing else, those were her only memories as Kagari Shina. But she was still trying to make me feel better. Even if they weren't related by blood, she really was Mayuri's daughter.